Are you back in the bathroom? Is this your debut back into the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Here you are, Scott. Look at that. Fix that. You got a mirror right there? How are you, Scott?
Aaron, good. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. It is so pretty out. Have you been outside today?
Yeah, absolutely. You're glowing. Are you still doing intermittent fasting, or what's cooking?
I'm just still working out. Still COVID, you know.
Man, yeah, you're looking great. Dropping weight.
Thank you, Scott. This is the only reason I do the show, so you could compliment me every week. It makes me feel really good.
Yeah, I eat Mexican food on Sunday, so the salt, that's what I tell myself. It blows. So
you're kind of a routine guy. You're always telling me what you do on certain days. Like Thursday is your friend out night. Sunday. Are you like that with routines?
No, I'm curious what everyone else's routine is, but I have a 1 and a 3-year-old. That's why I'm in a bathroom. There's a double door to get there. But also, I think, it's, my secret weapon is I work with working moms all the time. So on Thursdays, I like to have some guy time because on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's the kiddos. And so they're not in daycare. So it's quality time. Do you have a certain day of the week you like to do stuff?
So I like to do stuff all the time. I don't ever stop, but I am not a routine person. I actually thrive in chaos. Imagine that.
So. That's awesome. That's why you're an entrepreneur, you run a business.
My New Year's resolution, though, has been to calendar block so I can be a little more routine. And I've been doing that, and it's been working out well. We just asked people if their routines. Nobody has commented yet. What if nobody's watching us today and it's just us? Let us know if you are
people watching.
They are watching. I can actually see that some people are watching. But you know what? After the past 2 weeks, I can't imagine that people wouldn't be watching. We've had some phenomenal guests and couple phenomenal shows. So let us know you're over here. We talk about networking all of the time, and this is the best place to start to network right here, over here in the comments. I know that a couple of different people that have done business together, and one of our guests today, I saw her connect one time from the comments with somebody. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let's talk about our sponsor.
So we didn't get to do our call with our partners, Sean and Felicia at Bank of Blue Valley, but we do have our Wendy Reynolds question that comes halfway through the show. And also, we've been doing a lot of recommending for people looking for jobs in transition. A lot of people don't realize that Bank of Blue Valley is part of a national network and is an extremely large organization. So they have multiple opportunities all throughout the country, but I think we may start featuring folks that are looking or in transition at the beginning of the show to help with people that potentially may have been affected by COVID, because in the other side of the comments, you'll notice there's a lot of networking and connecting going on. And one of our guests, and I want to spoil the introduction, has mentioned, this is kind of the new virtual connecting. And I haven't thought of our show that way. And I'm just super excited to have him. It's a he who made that comment. I'll let him explain that. But thought it was really special. And I'm ready with music whenever you are.
All right. Well, first of all, we got to say hi to people first.
Oh, yeah.
Lori Laughlin. This used to be my boss 15 years ago. Hi, Lori. Way back in the day. Roberta says it's her first time. Well, welcome, Roberta. Thank you for joining us. We're very excited. Mr. Jason right here says, yes, most days have something scheduled. And we're talking about people looking for opportunities. I know Jason is right now looking for something in the project management space. So if you're looking for a project manager, reach out to Jason. And then we've got Miss Lisa, who is watching. And so far, Roberta loves us. Roberta, we're here to please you today. So very excited that you are here. All right. We've got to get, 2 more comments. And then I'm going to take your comments throughout. So keep commenting. Let us know if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, and let us know who you're excited to see today. Lindsay, I love when Lindsay jumps on. She is a huge fan of calendar blocking to make sure she stays on task, and she cannot wait to see Mike Myer today. So I guess we better start bringing everyone in. That's who they're here for.
Ready to roll.
All right. Got it? Wait, got it. All right. Our first guest today is Miss Latisha. We'll do ladies first. Our second guest today is Miss Sophia Binder. Our third guest actually does this for a living, so I'm a little intimidated because he is the king of fun, Mr. DaRon Cooper.
Double time.
And last but certainly not least, you guys are already asking for him, Mr. Myer. This is where you show off your dancing skills at the beginning. I'm gonna lose. Oh, look at it. Ron, good job. Told you, the king of fun today. So welcome, everybody. We are so excited to have you. We could not have more diverse businesses on one show. This is going to be so exciting. So we're going to start off very first. We're going to go in a circle, just like back in grade school. Latisha, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you end up here today.
Well, thank you, Erin. Thank you, Scott. Latisha Randolph. I am the mother of 3 and the wife of 1. I actually, you all were talking about virtual connecting. Before we went to that, I met Erin through in-person connecting, believe it or not, networking. And so we've been connected for about 4 years now, I think it is. And I'm with a company called LegalShield. I'm an independent representative. I'm also the regional director for Kansas and Missouri. And I do a bunch of other things too. So I'm excited to be here.
I actually met you at my very first in-person networking event I went to when I started my new company.
Yes.
So
yes.
we've been together for a long time. June 26th, 2016, if you're wondering if you want to write it down for our anniversary.
Wow. Okay, I will.
Sophia, who are you? What do you do? And how do you end up here today?
Hi, thanks for having me. So I'm Sophia Binder. I'm the HR director at SkillPath. And I mean, I do a lot of things and to be here is amazing. So thank you to Scott for, inviting me on this show. It's really exciting.
What does SkillPath do, and why do you have a passion for connecting others?
Oh my goodness, that's a loaded question. So SkillPath, we offer national training seminars, or not even just seminars now, it's webinars. So if you need training on how to do digital marketing, social media, things like that, advanced Excel classes, we're the people to go to for that. I mean, we have tons of events and webinars that you can attend. And then as far as just me in general, I do a lot of networking. I love it. I love helping people. I love helping people connect to other people that I'm connected to on finding new opportunities. There are so many people out there who are unemployed or looking for a career transition. And so I'm just a connector to the people that I know. So I love it. It gives me a lot of gratitude knowing that I'm helping others and giving them hope when they, are unemployed right now.
I love that. Well, this is the perfect show for you to be on because this is
where
I'm
so excited.
Looking for people and looking for jobs, and we've kind of turned into a networking show that we didn't know, and we love it. All right, DaRon, I'm trying to call you DaRon and not D because we have become friends during COVID. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you end up here?
Those are a lot of questions. Let me go ahead and start with my name is D. Coop, DaRon Coop. Depends on where you know me, but you guys can call me DaRon, call me Coop. I am a game show host here in the Kansas City area. The name of my company is called The Ultimate Game Night. Not just your regular game night, it's The Ultimate Game Night.
I feel like we have to call you The Ultimate now because that is an awesome name.
Ooh, you're up to something there. I like that. I might have to get a trademark. The Ultimate is my name. No, we'll go with Coop. It's so much easier. I am here because I've been working, and I've connected with Miss Erin and a few others through working, and we had a great time doing it. And so I think that's how I got on this platform here. And so thank you for having me. I truly appreciate you guys to be surrounded by a lot of leaders, and so I'm happy to be here for sure.
I don't know if anyone has out hustled you during COVID. I've been watching, and when he says he's been working, he's been hustling.
I've definitely been putting in work. for sure. Before we came here, I ran in the house trying to hurry up and hop in the shower and hurry up and do this. I'm all over the place, but I'm here. I need to do better with my day-to-day like Scott. On Thursdays, I want to do Chinese. On Sundays, I want to do, Mexican food. You feel me? I want that schedule.
Well, we're excited to have you. Mike, who are you? For the 3 people on here that might not have known you, what do you do and how do you end up here?
So I, in the family music business in Kansas City, 55 years with my 2 siblings and my mom and dad, and now my son. So 3 generations of that. And then I founded a charity with Fox 4 TV about 10 years ago called Band of Angels. And so, I was really blessed and honored to meet Aaron and Scott, both of which who were our rock stars for one of the years promoting one of our events. And so I'm a frequent watcher of the show, love the show. And I'm the guy that made the comment that said, I've reached out to 4 or 5 different people that I've seen on your show and actually met them for coffee and really done it because it's a great place for networking that now that you can't really do the big group in-person event, is a great place to meet interesting people and see the beginning of their stories and then take it one step further. So that's kind of what I like doing. I have a passion for meeting new people, and I'm always trying to build connections and figure out where I can help people. Luckily, I'm on the backside of my probably career somewhat, in that maybe after 30 years, I can offer a little advice and just an ear to listen. So I'm excited about all the new technology stuff, and this has been one of the greatest things that's happened out of COVID for sure.
Well, we're so excited that you've been meeting people from the show. And now I'm going to challenge people to get on here and say hello so that Mike can meet you as well. And absolutely. Elizabeth says, we love Meyer's music. Thank you for promoting music. So we're going to get more into that.
I know who Meyer's music is. I grew up on Meyer's music. Okay. Nice to meet you.
So it's nice
I think a lot of us grew up on Meyer's music if you grew up here.
There's been a few. Yeah. It's weird now because we're getting ready. We're now seeing like grandparents coming in with their kids, and their kids are now coming in. And so we're almost 4 generations deep in customers, which is very kind of interesting. Not something everybody can see.
That is really awesome.
I was listening to my son talk on the phone the other day, and he was booking an appointment to go out to help somebody, and the gal goes, I think I saw you when you were in diapers. And he goes, yeah, you probably did see me when I was in diapers, because they were all running around the stores when they were little, So.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you for joining us today. This is the part of the show where we like to talk about positive stuff. I do want to say, look, you guys all got people over here. Jason says, what's good, DaRon? Debbie says, you're looking great, Latisha. We got all sorts of, Lori's back. She said she's rented several instruments from you and her daughter's schooling. So we got, keep staying over here and networking. We want you to also start asking questions early. Last week, people were asking questions after we got off the show, and that's too late. So start asking them now. Let's jump into this. We know, listen, it's 2021. They said this was going to be over by now, but it's still not over, right? This COVID world we're living in has been very interesting. And for 4 very social people, it's changed up everything for your businesses and for your personal life. So let's talk about the biggest win that you had during this past year. We'll start with you, Latisha.
Believe it or not, Aaron, Scott, all the guests, last year was my best year ever in business and life. I mean, I learned so much. You get a chance to pivot, right? And learn what you're made of when you get through, go through these different types of storms and things to see what's really there. But last year was a year of firsts for me. I hit 2 new levels in my business for the first time ever. And one of them an executive level. And that meant more money for me and more money for my family. I had my biggest 3 months ever, my biggest year ever. I had my biggest year of recruiting. It was the first year that I'm a singer. So I recorded because I wanted to. I recorded my first single last year. I competed in my first Toastmasters contest last year, and I got 2 trophies. It was a great year. There's so many things. And I'd say one of the wins that we had in business overall, not just from my own personal business with LegalShield, but as a company, we were able to train more people and serve more people with the membership that we have. And there was a higher level of need for it because of the intricacies of business and the things that are happening in the housing market. I mean, people really needed attorneys at that time. So it was a great year. It was a great year. And there were some crazy things that happened too, but you already know me, Aaron. I'm super positive, so I'm going to try to find the best in it anyway.
Well, I'm excited. Go ahead.
I'm upset that we didn't play your song in the opening, and we would love on the next show, please email us. We'd love to play your song as the opening for the next show. And then a quick question for the audience. What does a typical client look like for you that makes your organization money?
Oh, for me?
Yes.
Oh, a typical client that makes our, let's see. The sweetest spot for us is a small business owner, someone who probably has 20-ish employees, because not only can we protect that business with legal services like contract review and lawsuit protection and ongoing consultation for the legal matters that come up, but we can also protect their employees with an employee benefit. And we can protect them personally with being able to get their wills done and being able to have help with traffic tickets and any other issues that may come up in everyday life. So the perfect person is the business owner right there in the middle. So that would be my answer to that.
Latisha, when we first met, we used that before we got to the size where we needed to have kind of an on-call attorney, right? We used LegalShield, and it was one of the best things for like when we were writing out contracts when we first started our business and all sorts of stuff. It was wonderful. I do want to tell you though, one of the best parts of being Latisha's friend, I was going to say this, and then Felicia actually messaged it over here as well. If you are Latisha's friend, she calls and sings to you on your birthday, and she never misses a beat. So
thank you.
I love it. You're like kind of like in your mind right now. You're like, man, I got to limit my friends with the amount of calls I got to make.
Most social person I know. She's also the person that if she hasn't heard from you, you get the text like, I know we've both been busy, just checking on you. Like she's great about that. So she's killing the marketing game. Sophia, what has been your big win during all of this?
Oh my gosh. I'd say the biggest win is really building my network. I mean, it's unfortunate that a lot of people have lost their positions because of the pandemic, but it's really gotten my name out there from others saying, you need to talk to her. She has inside scoop. She can connect you to so-and-so at so-and-such and such company. And I get messages daily from people saying, hey, I have an interview. Can you just help me, prep me for this? And I do, I answer all of my LinkedIn messages of people that are just needing advice and guidance and just need an introduction to someone. I don't ghost people. I'm just going to say that right now. So I will get to you if you haven't heard from me yet, I promise. So to me, that's the biggest win. I mean, I get messages from people that are like, I landed the job, all because of you. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm just doing my good deed of the day is just by responding to these messages.
Sophia, one quick question is so many people, we've all been there where we apply for a job and no one gets back to you. And usually when you say, I get back to everyone, I remembered it as a young person, I would cold call. And I always remembered I wonder why people didn't get back. And I always said, if I ever achieved anything, I'm always going to get back to everyone. What happened to you? Because you're in HR and you've hired hundreds of people. And your company, a lot of people don't realize, has hundreds of employees right off Shawnee Mission Parkway in Metcalf. Why do you get back to everyone?
So my story, long story short, I was let go from a pretty large company here in Kansas City. And I reached out to everybody I could possibly think of on LinkedIn that I was connected to. And I kept a spreadsheet. So people, I know who you are that ghosted me. But it really started with that of just people not responding back to me, not giving me an introduction, not helping me, not giving me any kind of advice. And I've always told myself, if I'm ever in that situation, I will always respond to somebody. If I cannot help them, I will find them someone who can. And that has just been my motto, and that's just what I've done ever since. And I mean, it's brought so much, it's just, I'm paying it forward for the one person that did give me advice back then. So I'm just doing my good deed of the day of helping someone and just giving them some hope. Just hope. I mean, that just says it all.
Good for you.
I would love tips. I'm like Scott. I got ghosted a lot because I don't have a college degree. So when I was looking for jobs, it would be very hard. Now that I'm on the other side, I see how it happens. And so later I'm going to ask you for tips for business owners on how they can try not to make those mistakes.
Absolutely. Yep. Reach out.
I do want to get to you, DaRon. What's been your biggest win? You guys are getting so many comments over here. I love it so much. What's been your biggest win through this past year besides becoming my best friend?
Besides being the bestie, my biggest win is building like Sophie. I'm gonna piggyback off of you, building my network, right? Just staying connected with my people, being able to form more of a connection with them, trying to figure out what they want, what is it that they want to see, how do they want to see it, how often do they want me to, because I do game shows. I'm like therapy for people, especially with everything that's going on right now, period. And even when COVID started, it was like, oh man. And so I was their way to disengage from the world and join. They had to join my community, and I take about 60 minutes of their lives, and we just have a great time, right? You're able to disconnect, laugh hard, right, and change your mindset. And so, talking to people, networking with people, doing these virtual game nights. When the pandemic hit, I had to go to another level on the virtual side. I was mainly doing it in person. I knew I could do a little bit online, but I didn't, my mindset wasn't there. I'm like, okay, I need to do another event. I need to get an event going, promote it, have the people come buy it, sell the tickets. When the pandemic hit, it's like, I can do everything virtual. So nothing really slowed down for me. Everything ramped up. And so even with my games in person, I don't have to be on you. All I need is my microphone to control the crowd. And so I'm still working, right? We can keep our distance, right? I can see you guys from afar. We can talk. You can see the screen, and we can still have a great time. And so that has been my biggest win.
So one quick question. I'm going to say D Ultimate because I want to trademark the name.
Okay, I got to get you to it first though, Latisha. Can you give me a contract, a trademark together?
I mean, I'll pay.
Yes, I can help you with that.
I pay in local beer, or local whiskey, so I can't pay money.
Okay.
But I'll give a warning to our guests and then a question. One is with what you do for a living, everyone thinks that they can do it. And by golly, it is so hard. It is a skill set. It takes hundreds of hours, if not thousands, to really master, because you're engaging every single one of the audience members that comes to you. That's the secret of why people pay, because there's so much value. So tell our audience what a typical corporate client looks like, and typically what do they request when wanting to do business with you?
A typical corporate client, someone who's looking to mainly here recently, over like the last couple months, it's been like the team building and happy hour. And so it doesn't matter how many employees you have, but they want to get their departments to have a great time with each other outside of all of these Zoom meetings, to be able to engage in a way that it's not all business, right? They can crack some jokes and things like that. So my typical client, the highest I've done has been 100 people on one call. And so I don't want to say the client's name, but there's small businesses all the way to big corporate offices. But it's hard to, I'm trying to find the right words to say. So a 50-person game night, 100-person game night mainly has been happy hours and team building events. And the games that we choose are customizable. So we play the feud, and I can customize it depending on who we're talking to, what department we're dealing with. And then I have like some Jeopardy style games, trivia. So it just depends on who I'm dealing with, what they're trying to do with their audience, whether it's a happy hour or whether it's a team building. We just find out what their needs are, what they're trying to do. And so everybody is kind of different. We customize our packages based off of that.
I brought DaRon in for a junior league meeting, for a council meeting last week, and he made a Jeopardy game for us, and you buzz in with your phone here. He's got a whole thing. And
Wow.
and it's been very hard, especially in a volunteer, to get people engaged, right? And I actually received half a dozen emails afterwards, and there was probably 18 people there that said, that was the most fun I've had on an online, supposed to be fun event, right? Because sometimes, like you said, Scott, they aren't fun when people try to do it themselves always.
It's huge. It's for, to your point, you answered the question perfectly. When people need employment engagement, it's just so big to have a professional like yourself do it, because it's just hard unless you know how to do it. So, as people are popping on, you're saying hi to them, you're engaging them. And just from the corporate side, I mean, it's just really valuable, because you're the best thing that happens to people in their whole week, and sometimes potentially their whole month, because you make them feel heard, you make them feel valued by simply saying their name and shining light on them. And I just think it's a real special trait. And I'm surprised more people aren't copying you. But the reason why I'm surprised more people aren't copying you, because they do it and they realize, like, wow, this is hard. I don't know how to do this.
It's been a few people who have tried it, Scott. I can't sit here and lie to you. It has. And it's not like word doesn't get back to me. Word gets back to me. I start to watch and see if they're going to be able to do it. But the special thing for me, right, I've dealt with a lot of people who said, find your niche. Find your niche. What are you good at? What are you great at? This is natural, right? I've been connected with people my whole life. I'm everybody's friend, right? Even in school, the person who always got picked on, right? I took up for them. I was friends with them. I was friends with everybody, right? And I make sure everybody is heard. I connect with everybody differently, no matter if you're white, black, tall, skinny, anything. I connect with you. Old, woman, male, anything.
Short.
I connect with you because we're all human, and I'm a person just like you are. And so I don't take it lightly. I walked into this gift. I had to understand that this is a gift. It is a skill set, and I walked into it. Thus, the ultimate game night.
Well, you got all sorts of people over here that are ready to book you. So we're going to get over to Mike, but start booking. You make sure you go back and connect with all these people. I know LinkedIn's not usually your forte. I've been yelling at you for about a minute for it, but make sure you go do it.
Please do LinkedIn. There's so much business that people need your services, especially in the next 6 months. People want to know where you're at.
I'll be doing it today. You can find me at ugnKC.com while you're over there. Just to throw that out there. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Mike, what is first of all, Mike, before you start talking, I got to pull up this. Jama wants to say thank you for her clarinet from 1994 to 1999.
That's awesome.
What has been your biggest win during this past year? Can you believe it?
Well, some of the big wins were unexpected wins, and that I would say we were thinking forward 2 years previous to this happening, and we had put a big technology piece into our business that actually made us touchless before touchless was a thing. And all of a sudden, we were standing there going, "Holy cats, we already have this." And so, as you know, the arts and music have been pretty hard hit, not only from a performing standpoint, but for the fear of people blowing their air around. And so we were able to kind of help mitigate that and then make people feel still comfortable coming in and getting an instrument for their kids. So that was the big win, probably on the Myer music side. On the Band of Angels side, the big win was we had our biggest event be able to be canceled this summer, which was Art That Blows, of which you guys were both rock stars for 2 years ago. And And we had really gotten some amazing momentum going with that event, gone from in 4 years from 100 people to just under 800 people that year. And we were fully poised for 1,000 people. And all of a sudden we had to take that event virtual. And so I had no idea what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. But I had an employee, she came to me, IT person, and she said, we can do this. We can do this. So we ended up broadcasting it virtually from my living room. We raised the same amount of money that we did with the in-person event from my living room. And the coolest part of that was I got a donation for $200 from some guy in the Philippines who happened to see it and thought that it was really cool what we were doing in Kansas City. So it really underscored the opportunity for me that we weren't just a local thing. This was a national thing. So we're getting ready to do our next virtual event, February 6th, which is our Heartstrings Gala. We're going to be broadcasting a 2.5-hour concert with 7 artists from across the United States that have played with all the big artists that you've heard of. And so we're just broadening the net and showing everybody what great, awesome stuff is happening in Kansas City. So I'm thrilled.
What did you find in the Philippines?
I don't know how he found us. We did the traditional marketing, of which I've learned a lot of tips from you, Aaron, about, LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat. We were using all those channels to promote the event in advance, as were our rock stars, which is our brand ambassadors for the event. They were shooting that out. And I think that somehow there was a connection where somebody saw it and he knew somebody who was connected with it. And so, kudos to you for the tips that you post on LinkedIn. I'll give another big shout out for Aaron and for LinkedIn. You've given away a lot of free information on LinkedIn for people of exactly how to do things like StreamYard, which we're on right now. And I was watching that, and that's how we figured out how we were going to broadcast that Art That Blows event virtually, and bring in artists from Hallmark that were not anywhere near we could get to them. And now we're taking that one step further and bringing in, 2 saxophone players, a sax player and a trumpet player from LA, sax player from New York, a gal from North Carolina, 2 artists from Atlanta. So it's going to be really cool. But, so I echo what Scott said about the power of LinkedIn, and DaRon, I would completely agree. Get on it. You're crushing it already. I can tell you and I we're the next lunch get together because I want to get to know you more. So.
One quick question before we get to Wendy Reynolds' question, the CEO of Bank of Blue Valley. There's not really an articulate way to say this, but, over the last, couple of years, which this shouldn't be a recent thing, but it is diversity on boards and the representation. And, I think, myself personally, growing up as a dude with my background in the suburbs, I never thought how big of an advantage it is to have different voices around the table and why it's so beneficial in business and making money and growing. And you have always had a diverse board for what you've done. And lately, a lot of other boards have come to you and said, hey, Mike, how'd you do it? And obviously, it's being intentional and it's focusing and making it a point. But why has that always been important to you personally to have different representation for the boards that you work with or that serve with you?
Well, and you also do that with the rock stars, because our year, that's part of why I said yes, is because you said this is going to be the most diverse representation of Kansas City. It's going to represent the city we live in.
It is. Yeah. It's funny that you bring that up, Scott, because that was going to be my big win for this year. It's been one of the hardest things. So Band of Angels has been around for 10 years. It's been one of the hardest things to achieve, to break down that wall with people, because there was definitely some people when I called, they're like, well, why are you calling me? And so, but I think that the answer is you just have to be okay with saying, look, I'm calling you, DaRon, because you're Black and you have a set of eyes that I need at the table when I'm making decisions about the kids that I'm going to help serve. I have kids that are Black, I have kids that are white, I have kids that are Hispanic, that are all coming to us with a need from a different set of eyes. And if I don't have that set of eyes on my board that helps me understand their perspective, I'm not able to serve them as well. So I've been preaching it for, the 9-10 years that we've been founding the board. It was very hard to achieve. The rock stars were very, very important, and for us, there are kids in every category, whether it's white, black, Hispanic, but then also, you talk about transgender and you talk about LGBTQ and all these different groups. These kids want to see people in their organizations that look like them and that share their situation. And when they do, they will open up far more. We've had, gay and lesbian board members, we've had gay and lesbian rock stars. And when I have a gay or lesbian student that we've given an instrument to that's struggling with an issue, who better for them to talk to than somebody that is out, that has been through it, that has done those things. When we have Hispanic board members, there's language barriers between parents and kids. And I have had, one of our Hispanic board members that was really exciting this year. We had a girl that we wanted to highlight because she was doing really well. And we couldn't get her to come in to film the video because her parents did not speak English. And they were afraid of us. So I had our Hispanic board member call them, help line up the appointment, and they came in and filmed the video. Now, quick fun story. What was really cool was while they were here, I said to him, to the dad who didn't speak English, I said, I want to get you a T-shirt for Band of Angels. And I was going to give him a T-shirt. And I said, what size shirt do you wear? She asked him in Spanish what size shirt. He said it. And I said, okay, but he said, wait 1 minute. And he held up his cell phone. And on the home screen of your cell phone, what do you put? You put the most important picture to you, right? And this was a girl we had given an instrument to a couple of years ago. He and his daughter had been at our gala event volunteering. And his home screen on the back of his cell phone was him and her in their Band of Angels shirts. And that was one of the neatest things. And that type of connection never happens if you don't bring diversity into your organization and you are very intentional and just out with it. Like we're all talking about it. I want to meet other people with different backgrounds. So thank you, because that's been a huge, huge win.
So next time you need somebody to translate, fun fact, Latisha over here is fluent in Spanish.
Very good. Well, she's on my list. Latisha, you and I are eating lunch soon.
So
Yeah,
is my number 2 because you said D was number 1.
The ultimate number 1.
We're all in this together now. Let's sit down together. One
I
tab.
just want to know what number I am.
You got it. You got it.
All right. Well, every week we are very lucky. Miss Wendy Reynolds comes and joins us on the show and asks a question. So I'm going to pull up her question. As soon as she's done, Latisha, we're going to have you answer it and we'll go around again. Okay, here we go.
How do you keep customer satisfaction a top priority at your business?
Latisha.
The number 1 answer for me for that is finding out what they need. And someone said this already in our panel today, finding out what they need and showing them how we match that and then helping them get to that need first. So if I talk to actually one of the referrals that Erin gave me recently, her biggest thing was getting her will done for her and her family. So we talked about that. Here's how you do it. Here's the app where you just fill out the questionnaire and made sure that she had what she needed, and then following up to make sure that everything went well. She was so pleased. And she was like, can my husband do this too? And I was like, yes, he actually can. No additional cost. She was super excited. So finding out what the customers need and maybe the 1, 2, or 3 things they're going to use the service for so that it's not just another bill. It needs to have value for them. So helping them connect their need to the value that we offer.
And I like the follow-up part you said there. Because sometimes we get them what they need, but then we forget to follow up and see how it went. And I think you do a phenomenal job with that. Sophia, how about you?
Yeah, I would piggyback off of what Latisha said for sure. As far as like SkillPath goes, when we have clients that reach out, it's finding out what the need is and, not promising things that we can't deliver upon. So it's making sure that we are in line and of what our services are. As far as like my networking goes, it's just always responding and making sure that I'm delivering with what I'm able to help people with.
Listen, I love the always responding. I'll tell a secret that I shouldn't tell, but I actually have a virtual assistant that goes through my messages because I get so many on LinkedIn and responds to every single one except for personal ones and pulls those for me, personal ones and leads. But that's how important I think responding is.
Absolutely. You have to. Otherwise, people aren't going to trust you.
Not at all.
Or it's going to come back. A really good friend of Mike and I's. His name's John Vanderwall. He's from South America. He's a doctor and became the first CEO of Teva. And he worked for Ewing Kauffman, who a lot of millennials like myself may not know. But Ewing Kauffman was a big inspiration to a lot of people in Kansas City. And he said, the toes you step on today are the butt you kiss tomorrow. We can't curse on this show in Kansas City. So the toes you step on today are the butt you kiss tomorrow. And that is so true because it's going to happen to all of us.
Absolutely.
I like that. All right, D Coop, how do you guarantee customer satisfaction? Because I know you're good at this.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off of both of these ladies, right? It's a matter of just finding out what the customer needs. What are we trying to accomplish here, right? For me, when people reach out to me, they just want to know what it is. What do you do, and how do you do it, right? And so I send a link to where we can actually set up time, and I actually walk them through the process. I walk them through the games and show them how we're gonna put this game together, the vibes that will come off of that. I've done it a lot, and so I know the kind of reactions that we're gonna get out of different people, and so just keeping that at the forefront. But I'm gonna work more. I'm gonna work more at the follow-up, and reaching back out and making sure that that we exceed the expectation, that we meet the expectation. Or what can we do better, right? I'm going to make sure that I follow up to get those answers. This year has been a year of growth for me and getting the foundation solid so that I can actually take off to another level. So this upcoming year should be fun. It should be fun.
So the way that I was always in sales and follow up was the hard thing for me because I always like the exciting part at the beginning, right? Like that's just how I'm wired. So one of the things that I did is I have to live by our CRM and it has to tell me when to do the follow up. Otherwise, I'm just like next thing squirrel. So you might look into a good way to schedule it. That's what I had to teach myself after years and years and years.
Yeah. Or I'll tell you, I'm going to unfairly divide us up, but I feel like Latisha and Sophie and I are more alike, and I feel like Dee and Mike and Aaron, you guys are kind of the superstars, and you're so talented that you're going to have success, and so you maybe haven't had to follow up as much, where we are more on the organizational side and holistically, where we have to do the whole package. And so I've partnered with my business partner because we complement each other well. But sometimes when you're so talented at the beginning, you can get a lot of opportunities in business. And so sometimes not trying to compensate where you may not be great at, but doubling down on what you're great at and finding a partner to complement you, I think is another option. Because Aaron, I don't want you following up. I want you, because you're so great at taking care of the client and helping them start, that's where you shine. And so sometimes people try to, I always say we kind of have to put our big boy girl in pants on sometimes. I say, like, for me, it's filling out an expense account as a salesperson. Never hire anyone that can do an expense account because they stink at sales. Salespeople hate it. But, find what you can complement each other on, because Dee, I can see that just everyone wants to work with you. So I wouldn't find someone that can help you follow up.
I wouldn't say everyone wants to work with me. I have been fortunate enough that people do want to work with me. They like my energy, and that has helped a lot, tremendously. But I did hire my first employee, right? So
there you go.
I'm happy for that. She can actually respond and communicate to the emails and the brochures that need to be sent out and different things like that. I only speak to the customer after they set the meeting and the day of. And so that has helped out tremendously. So now I'm able to double down on putting my all in on getting more people to come in so she can talk to them so we can work together. So that's dope. Miss Deborah, big shout out to Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah made my shirt that we have on right here. You know, I
She's
did
a phenomenal LinkedIn photo.
grown folks game night with her, and she actually made my shirt during the event, and so that was huge. Happy belated, Miss Deborah.
She's one of my favorite people. Yeah, she does screen printing, and she comes to you and does it at your event. And it's really cool. So she can have different designs. You can choose your design and like what type of shirt, because some people want
At the event?
At the event. Mm-hmm.
At
Wow.
the event.
Yep.
At the event.
That is next level.
It's one of my favorite people. All right, Mike, how do you do customer service? And if you have a question, get in here because we only have a few minutes left for questions right after this.
I would say probably the first thing for us is just keep upgrading your technology and make sure that you're communicating with the customer in the way the customer wants to communicate. And you know, we recently, quick story, we recently switched over on our website from a digital form where you would fill out an email and send it to a chat function, and saw our responses go up by 60% because people don't want to wait for an email. They want to respond on chat to their phone. So keep thinking about those things. I can't take credit for that. That was a John Myer. My son brought that one into the thing. And then I would say the other thing is, you know, don't approach the situation from a standpoint of profit. And I know that sounds crazy, but when I start thinking about what's in it for me, I lose the sale almost every single time. And people don't, because they can tell that I'm not in it for them. I'm in it for me. So when you approach it for, look, I'm here to help you, and whatever you buy, we're good. And whatever you do, we're good. Maybe you don't do anything. I just got off of a phone call with a manufacturer who said, like, we don't want you to try and make us happy. We want you to get what you need, because you're no good to me if you're out of business because you tried to make me happy and you bought more than you needed. So I would say just, you know, always not necessarily entering a situation looking at it from a profit perspective, but more of a, how am I going to help this person? And then the profit's going to come. If people know that you help people, that will keep your customers satisfied, and they will keep coming back to you, and they'll refer to you. And if they don't, they won't. They won't.
To your technology point, we put a chatbot on our website this past year, and it is a game changer because we are in a world where people just want the answer sometimes, right? And so it's been, I love the keeping up with technology piece.
There was a company.
I'll give a shout out to the software that we use is called Podium, but I mean, not only does it allow them to have instant feedback, but it allowed and enabled all of our team members to be responding at any time from anywhere. So our team members are responding outside of business hours, sometimes when they see a question that they know the answer to. So we've empowered our employees to get better customer service by making the access quicker and easier for them. Total game changer for us. And our reviews, it automatically gets you shoot out reviews to show that your company is strong. Our review and star ratings have gone up by 25% since we started that. So
real quick, Aaron, to add to that point, iVerify sold for over 100 million 5 years ago, and then recently Backlot Cars sold for 425 million. Both huge stories for Kansas City. There's a story, I'm not going to name the name of the company because they probably want to be confidential to figure out who the owners are, but there's a company that wasn't around for 3 years, and usually you have to be around for 3 years to win a lot of the awards that you typically see in our publications that you're aware of. And they achieved over 90 million as an exit. They had 3 owners, and they did chat. And so basically the thought process is when you go to an orthodontist website, you're not there for fun. You're there because you're going to make a big decision, and it's worth a lot of money when you sign up to, have your children or yourself get braces. Also, you don't go to a plumbing website for fun. You just don't go there. You're there. So by engaging in chat, it increased sales by 10 times by engaging with the chat. So food for thought is people are looking at companies. If you run a business that you're not just going to go there because, like I'll reference Barstool with all the giving back that they've done, and recently their donation to Bob Kendrick and Kiana Sinks at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Not those types of websites. If you have a boring website like me that's insurance, chat is a big feature. So again, Mike, not only were you ahead of time by being virtual, kudos to your son for really jumping on the chat. I know that's going to be a huge advantage for many years.
Kudos for listening to him, because it's in my industry. A lot of times I'm dealing with the parents going out and kids coming in, and a lot of times the parents don't listen, right? They're like, we've been doing it this way for so long. So kudos to you for listening as well. I wanted to pop in here with Roberta. She says customer feedback is critical, and then doing something with it is the golden ticket to your business. So I recently, I use Calendly. That's how I schedule everything. And they sent me a customer. I had to use their chat feature or whatever, like their question feature. And they sent me a customer satisfaction survey afterwards. And I've got to find out the software, and I'll put it in this. I know it's an offshoot of Medallia, but this customer software said, how did this go? What can we do? And then it said, because I'd given the girl 5 stars, it said, what should we give her for offering great customer service? A gift card to a movie, a gift card to a lunch, or then there was something else, or an Amazon gift card or something like that. And I got to choose what this girl got for offering me great customer service. It was kind of the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. You guys seen that?
No, that's awesome though.
I'll try to find the software. I know it's an offshoot of Medallia, the big survey one. So y'all, we have a ton of people over here. Lori said she needs to find a partner to help her. Scott, she's listening to you. Helping people help people. Pay it forward. And then the queen right here of networking, I've seen her on a couple times, so I'm going to pull this up. She does the coffee news when you walk into the coffee shops. Miss Debbie Jackson. So she said,
no
if you
way.
have friends in there, yeah, jump on and
Debbie, get on the show.
That's my
Debbie.
friend. Debbie's here for me. Thank you, Debbie. Well, I think it's
You're
your
on
friend.
the
too.
Yeah, get her on.
And then Miss Jennifer Dehan, she says the virtual art, the blows was wonderful. Looking forward to Heartstrings. So lots of awesome people over here. Lots of people in here. So listen, we are running up against time. So I'm just going to ask one more quick. Well, Scott, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have you come up with one of your crazy, cheesy icebreaker questions to end the show today.
Wait, did you have you've been on fire lately. Did you have a question you really wanted to ask? Because I can totally go cheesy.
You're the king of cheesy. I want you to go. I didn't.
Okay.
I can't believe we're already 52 minutes in. It's been such a great
So if you're not booking D Ultimate and you don't have a professional that's able to engage and make sure that everyone's heard, I really do want to encourage people to do icebreakers. When you do events, people go for the speaker, but 95% of the time they come for other people and they come to be heard. And so if you don't engage everyone at a meeting, it's a worthless meeting. And don't ever think that people want to hear the speaker. That's so overrated. Not that all of us here don't speak really well and that we enjoy it, but it's our ability to engage the audience. So this is a classic. It's super easy. I'm sure maybe you've done it before. But Latisha, what is the first concert that you ever went to? The first concert
that I went to?
That you went to in person.
I'm a singer. So the first concert I ever went to is the one that I was in. I think the best ones were in college. I was a part of the gospel choir, and we did one every semester. And I sold the most tickets until I had one person who competed with me. I always sold over 100 tickets. I have like 8 trophies for selling the most tickets. But they were great because we would go even on tour and go visit other schools and locations that had not heard gospel music. And we'd go sing early in the morning and have like this grand finale concert every single semester. So that's the answer to that. Hopefully that's why
we asked these questions. That's the first time I've ever gotten that, probably out of 1,000.
Yes.
So Sophia, what was your
trophy case? Because she keeps saying she wins trophies for everything. I want to see your trophy case.
I got 2 of them right here. Let me get these 2.
Aha, there we go.
These are my Toastmasters trophies from my contest, and I'm competing again this year. And then I forgot to say I'm in BNI as well. That's a big networking. I love BNI, president of my chapter. But yeah, you can see my trophies. I'll take a picture for you and send it to you.
Thank you.
All right, Sophia, what was the first concert that you went
gosh.
to? And the audience is starting to answer, which I love. So
Yeah, I see that. Gosh, I have to really think. I'd say it's probably like some boy band, maybe like Backstreet Boys or something. I really can't remember the very first.
yeah, you're showing your age there.
I
We're the same age, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, D.
That's funny. Before I answer that, Ms. Randolph, we need to talk. You doing happy birthday song? I have a birthday party coming up on the 19th, and I would just love for somebody to just sing happy birthday to make her.
You got it.
Can we do that? That would be nice.
You got it. I try to connect with you on LinkedIn, so I don't have your number. I need you to. I'm on everything, even TikTok.
When we're done, just take your phone, go to the camera, put it over this QR code, and you can text me at any time.
Okay, first of all, what's your TikTok name? What is your TikTok name? You said you're even on TikTok. Tell us your name.
Tisha Mommy.
Tisha Mommy.
Tisha Mommy.
And then how did your QR code work, D? And also tell us your concert.
Just take a picture of it. Just hover your phone in the camera over the QR code, and you can just text me at any time. Just put in a little bit of information to let me know who you are, so I know about you. Then you'll get a response, and we'll communicate. My very first concert was 2 years ago. It was the very first time I even went to a beach. I went to go see my favorite artist who helped me get through all of my tough times. His name was Nipsey Hussle. Up in LA. I flew to LA. So my friends, I didn't have enough money to get to the concert. And so I started a GoFundMe. The GoFundMe was Get Coop to LA. Right? That was the name of it. And my friends, my family, random people on social media who've been following, my customers, my clients, they all start chipping in, just sending money to me, saying they believe in me, they want me to do it. They know how hard I hustle. And so I came up with the money. I came up with $500, and it paid for my ticket to the event and my flight there. And that was great. And so that was 2 years ago. I got to see him perform live for the BET Awards, and him coming back to his hometown. It was, unfortunately, the following year he was killed, right? And it hurt. But I was so it makes that going to see him just even more special. I have the videos, I have everything from it. I'm not ever letting it go. So yeah. I hate to darken the mood, but that's my first concert.
Well, that's okay, because we're ending with the concert man right here.
There we go.
That's right.
Yeah, mine's a little bit more lighthearted, but he was really popular then, and talked about dating myself. He was really popular then, but he's coming back around, and it was Lionel Richie at Kemper Arena. And so, yeah.
Kemper, wow.
Yeah. I'm a ballad kind of guy, man. When you learn to play Truly and Endless Love on the piano, the girls go crazy. So that was my man.
I'm a big fan of his daughter. I like her. I want to tell people here. I want to show some of these. Blue Oyster Cult, Billy Joel, Halloween, 1983 or 84. Rush, John Cougar Mellencamp with her dad. And then we've got MC Hammer.
There we go.
We've got Cher. I stayed in a hotel room next door to Cher one time. Wow. I thought all the security was there for me. They weren't. Jackson 5 Victory Tour.
Jackson 5.
Weird Al Yankovic.
That's our development director for Band of Angels. That goes right along with his personality.
You're the man, Neil.
How about you, Scott?
Are you going to end the show to close us out, or do you want me to ask you that question?
Yeah, we can end it right after this. We'll be at time.
I hung out with a bunch of stoners in high school, so we were really big on Tom Petty at the time when he was coming to. For some reason, at the time, he was coming to Sandstone, but it was frowned upon for guys at the time to go to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, but they were really big. I mean, those were. They're like Boys to Men, all those boy bands were just New Kids on the Block. So those were all big bands. Aaron, you want to close us out? And what was your first concert?
I feel like you and I have answered this so many times. I already know exactly what the whole stoner thing you're gonna say every time. Mine was Tiffany, still Tiffany, still angry myself, but I love some. I think it was at a mall. It was at the Denver Mall, I believe. It's a long time ago. So, well, this has been such a fun panel. I do want to tell everybody, everyone is tagged here on the show, so connect. This is probably our most networked panel we've ever had. Dee's not tagged, but he's going to go tag himself after this because he's going to get on LinkedIn.
I'm about to get on LinkedIn.
Big lesson today.
Don't worry about it. I have homework to do.
You got homework. We really appreciate you coming on. We're super excited. We were talking about text lines, and I started thinking about this the other day that we're going to bring our text line back. Whenever we book a big guest, we really like to tell you that we have a big guest book, let you schedule your calendar because Tuesdays at 3 can book up. So text us 913-298-8790. Just say Drinks with Leaders. We'll make sure you get on our text line. And we'll tell you when we got big people coming up, give you some reminders. Make sure you like the page right here where it's live. And thank you all for coming. And we're going to see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
You too.
Bye.
Thank